Hello, watchers! Good to see you here. Welcome. Have you noticed that there have been many startups in Indonesia recently? Let's name some of them. Kopi Kenangan, Kredivo, Sayur Box, Mamikos, eFishery, and many more. Are you thinking to be a founder of startup in Indonesia? Do you want to know what things to watch out when doing business in Indonesia? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right place. Because here, we, the EMBA September 2022 IPMI International Business School, will present you a video of doing business in Indonesia. And after watching this video, you'll get the most updated 2023 comprehension of doing business in our lovely country. So buckle up, get set, and please enjoy our presentations.
Indonesia economic growth and investment strategy in recent and coming years. Indonesia is one of the most populous countries in the world and has a rapidly growing economy. Indonesia economy has experienced steady growth in recent years and made significant strides in economic development with a growth rate of around 5% to 6% per year. Indonesia economy is driven by its abundant natural resources, including oil, gas, coal, minerals, and agriculture. In the future, Indonesia has set ambitious economic goals. The government has set a target of achieving a growth rate of around 7% by 2024. Indonesia aims to become one of the world's top 10 economies by 2030 with a GDP of around $5 trillion. To achieve this, the government is focusing on attracting foreign investment, investing in infrastructure, and developing a skilled workforce. In terms of investment, Indonesia offers a range of opportunities for both domestic and foreign investors, implement various policies, and has also implemented several investment strategies and programs to attract investment, which include the Omnibus Law that simplifies business regulations, set aside significant funds for infrastructure development and investing in renewable energy projects and developing smart cities, establish special economic zones, investment in technology, investment in human capital for education system improvement, and developing a skilled workforce. In the future, Indonesia's investment strategy will continue to focus on these areas. The government has set a target of attracting $200 billion in investment by 2025, with a focus on infrastructure, manufacturing, and digital technology.
Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world, with a young force and a large growing domestic market due to the demographic bonus, making Indonesia one of the most world-leading economy. As the only G20 members in Southeast Asia, And as an active voice to develop world concern, Indonesia plays more significant role in the global stage. Standard Chartered foresees Indonesia's entry into the G7 by 2030 and projects the Indonesian economy could become the 10th largest by 2020 and the 5th largest by 2030. Worldwide Governance Indicator survey conducted by the World Bank indicated that Indonesia has improvement in several indicators, such as governance effectiveness, regulatory quality, and control of corruption. Indonesia's economy continued to rise along with the improvement of investment climate, have upgraded Indonesia's ease of doing business rank from 91 to 72 in 2018. In addition to that, based on the survey by the United Nations Conference on the Trade and Development, Indonesia has slipped to the fourth place in 2017-2019 as a prospective investment destination. I even haven't mentioned about the abundant amount of natural resources that we have in Indonesia. It also has the second highest biodiversity level in the world after Brazil. Aside from the flora and fauna, Indonesia is a home to many ecosystems from beaches, small islands, coral reefs, seaweed beds, sand dunes, tidal flats, coastal muds, mangroves, and others, make Indonesia the most attractive place for investment, especially in tourism center.
Risk-based OSS system, users and feature. Within OSS, there is risk-based. The OSS system will boost the convenience of doing business in Indonesia by utilizing online licensing services that relate to the risk-based licensing paradigm. The sort of permission provided will be adjusted to the business risk using this system. The use of risk-based OSS system is mandatory for business or investor. High-risk business require a business permit, medium-risk business require a permit in the form of standard certificate, and low-risk business only require a permit in the form of registration or business identification number (NIB). The government also incorporate 18 ministry or institution into the system. The use of the risk-based OSS system is mandatory for business players, ministries or institution, regional government, special economic zone, CAC administrator, and Free Trade Zone and Freeport (KPBPB) authority. The application connects four scopes, namely those in regency or city, provinces, ministry and institution, and Ministry of Investment. The OSS system design is simple to understand, beginning with the investor entering the data into the information subsystem, which is then validated by the system using the smart engine and risk management engine to measure risk parameter and risk value. The output has been checked and notified to the central or regional government based on their authority, which is supported by an IT system.
As the COVID-19 pandemic is under control and the activity restriction PPKM ends, implementation of health management, social protection, and economy recovery programs in 2023 will be according to the duties of each ministry or agency. The government will strengthen the adaptive social protection program through various database improvements and program enhancements to anticipate the impact of economic turmoil and potential disasters that will occur in the future. Pre-employment card is committed to boost skill development program. Achievement more than 45.1 million verified applicant registered on the Kartu Pekerja database. 16.4 million something total beneficiaries, and also 37.96 trillion rupiah disbursed incentive fund to 38 province, 514 district and city. Its outcomes also improving working skills and entrepreneurship opportunity until 87.2%. The training helped to improve skills and competencies, also reducing unemployed from 56% to 39.8%, accelerating financial inclusion. 47% beneficiaries who previously did not have access to financial services are now have bank account or key wallet, improve purchasing power, and SMEs percent beneficiaries used to the gas incentive for 95% stable food, 74% electricity, water, 70% business capital, 61% mobile data, 64% fuel, and also 55% transportation. So, Kartu Pekerja is the most extensive G2P government-to-person program. Thank you.
Now, let's talk about Indonesia investment policy direction year 2020 until 2024. The objective of investment policy direction from 2020 until 2024 is to improve the investment quality to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth. There are 7 items on it. Let's digest them. Number 1, job creation. The policy should encourage labor-intensive business field. It means business fields that may absorb large quantity of workforces, thus decreasing unemployment. Number 2, increase productivity. The policy should encourage policy industry 4.0 to be able to compete in wider market. Number 3, transfer of knowledge and technology. The policy should encourage more transfer knowledge in human resources and increasing in research and development sector. Number 4, improve competitiveness and market access. The policy should encourage opening up a wider market through business partnership. Number 5, export-oriented and import substitution. The policy should encourage more investment in export-oriented industry and other industry that may substitute import, so we will not import more. Number 6, environmental and social equality or ESG. The policy should encourage more investment in business sector that is categorized as green industry and business sector that may have a large positive impact throughout Indonesia. And the last one, number 7, optimizing the use of natural resources and domestic production. The policy should encourage downstream products instead of upstream, thus it will increase the use of domestic products.
Next, it's about fiscal incentives policy to boost the economy. There are 4 types of these fiscal incentives. First, tax holiday and mini tax holiday. These incentives given to new investment, including pioneer industries. Income tax reduction are 100% and 50% for mini tax holiday during the next 2 years subsequent to the end of the CIT reduction periods above. Second, tax allowance. The criteria for this tax allowance are having a high investment value or for export, a large absorption of labor, or have a high local content. The facilities include a reduction in net income of 30% of the total investment for 6 years. Third, investment allowance. To encourage investment in labor-intensive industries, there is deduction from net income of 60% of the amount invested in intangible fixed asset, including land, for main business activities. The deduction is spread over 6 years or 10% annually, starting from the fiscal year the commercial production commences. And the last, super deduction tax. This kind of fiscal incentives given to engaging industry in vocational activities with maximum reduction of 200% gross income from cost. Furthermore, there is research and development super deduction to increase the role of industry in fostering innovation and the use of the latest technology in the production process, with maximum gross income deduction of 300% over research and development costs carried out in Indonesia. Thank you.
Bank Indonesia adopts a pro-stability monetary policy to maintain economic stability and support sustainability growth. As part of this approach, the central bank focuses on being front-loaded, preemptive, and forward-looking in its policy formulation. This characteristic allows Bank Indonesia to effectively anticipate and respond to economic developments both domestically and globally. Targets. Core inflation within target 3 plus minus 1% on the first half of 2023 and rupiah exchange rate stabilization policy by BI7DRR or BI7Ds repo rate. It's a part of on a front-loaded, preemptive, and forward-looking basis to lower inflation expectation and core inflation earlier in the first half 2023. Exchange rate stabilization of rupiah exchange rate to control inflation, particularly imported inflation through spot intervention, the NDF and SBN, or surat berharga nasional transaction in secondary market. Twist operation. SBN sale purchase in secondary market to maintain the attractiveness of SBN yield to draw foreign portfolio investment in order to strengthen the stabilization of rupiah exchange rate. For sure, Bank Indonesia make a coordination with the fiscal policy of government. Bank Indonesia work closely with the government to ensure that monetary and fiscal policies are aligned, thereby creating a supportive environment for sustainable economic growth, job creation, and infrastructure development. They also create TPIP, Tim Pengendalian Inflasi Pusat, TPID, Tim Pengendalian Inflasi Daerah. The monetary policy trilemma, also known as an impossible trinity of policy trilemma, is a fundamental concept in international economics. One is policy rate for inflation, rupiah stabilization, foreign exchange reserve adequacy.
Hi everyone. Now I would like to continuing discussion on how we starting business in Indonesia. Here are some of the key steps and regulation that you should be aware of. First is business structure. The first step is to decide on the type of business structure that you want to establish, such as a limited liability company, a cooperative, a partnership, or a sole proprietorship. The second is business licenses. You will need to obtain a business license from the relevant government agency, depending on the type of business that you want to start. For example, if you plan to start a restaurant, you will need to obtain a food and beverage license for the local governments. Third is about the tax registration. You will also need to register your business for tax purposes with tax office and obtain taxpayer identification number, or we call NPWP. Fourth is investment license. If you plan to start foreign-owned company, you will need to obtain an investment license from the Indonesian Investment Coordination Board. Fifth is employment regulation. As an employer, you will need to comply with Indonesian labor laws and regulation, such as a minimum wage requirement, employment contracts, social security contribution, and employee benefits. The last one is about the company registration. Once you have obtained all the necessary license and permits, you can register your company with the Indonesian government, which involves submitting various documents and paying registration fees.
Here, I would like to share to you what are the opportunities in doing business in Indonesia. One, large and growing market. Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world and has a rapidly growing middle class. This provides a large and growing market for businesses that are looking to expand their customer base. Two, strategic locations. Indonesia is located at the crossroad of major shipping routes and has access to several important markets in Asia, including China, India, Japan, and South Korea. Three, natural resources. Indonesia is rich in natural resources, including oil and gas, coal, minerals, and agriculture products. This provides opportunities for businesses that operate in these sectors. Indonesia also has a relatively stable political environment in recent years, which provide a predictable regulatory environment for businesses. Besides that, Indonesia government offers various investment incentives to attract foreign investors such as tax holiday, import duty exemptions, and streamlined investment procedures. Also, Indonesia has low labor costs, which provides cost advantages for businesses that require labor-intensive production processes. And the last one, growing infrastructure. The Indonesian government has made significant investment in infrastructure in recent years, including highways, ports, airports, and power plants. This provides improved logistics and supply chain capabilities for businesses that operate in the country. And now we are going to hear what are the challenges doing business in Indonesia.
Many foreigners are interested in doing business in Indonesia. However, there are a number of challenges that business people need to be aware of before investing in the country. One of the biggest challenges in doing business in Indonesia was navigating the complex regulatory environment. There are a lot of rules and regulations that you need to follow, and they are not always as easy to understand. It can be difficult to get the right permits and license, and there is a lot of bureaucracy to deal with. Indonesia's government bureaucracy can be slow and sometimes inefficient. Taxation is another challenge for foreign business in Indonesia. The tax system can be complex and difficult to understand. It's important to work with the local tax expert who understand the system and can help you navigate it. Another challenge for doing business in Indonesia is the cultural differences. As we know that Indonesia is an archipelago country which consists more than 17,000 islands and cultures. And each island not only sometimes have one tribe, but sometimes more than 2-3 tribes in each island. Each region has different culture and local wisdom. Indonesian business culture is also very different from the Western business culture, and it can take some time to get used to. Building relationships with the government, with the important one, is very important, and business is often conducted over long meals and over social events. It's important to understand the local customs and show respect to them. Indonesia's infrastructure can also be a challenge for foreign business. While the government has made significant progress in the recent decades in developing highway from Aceh to Papua, there are still issues related to uneven price and logistic costs and communication in Central and East Indonesia. This can make it difficult to get goods and services to the market and can also make it difficult to communicate with customers and suppliers. While there are certainly challenges to doing business in Indonesia, there are also opportunities for those who are willing to put in the time and effort to navigate the local environment. By understanding the regulatory environment, working with the local experts, and showing respect for the local cultures, entrepreneurs can succeed in Indonesia and take advantages of its growing economy. Thank you.